Okay. I'm not really going to look at the chat. Otherwise, I'll can't do it. So how many of you, I'm just going to like dive right in. This is going to be like a third quarter pump up. And how many of you listen to the Empower Her like podcast? Oh, well, that actually works out great. Because so I listen like every Monday and every Thursday, they come out with a new podcast. And this is pretty much, I got the inspiration from Thursday's podcast. So the topic was completely inspired by that. So if you have heard it, you're hearing it again. But if you haven't, then you need to make it like a goal to listen to that this week. So it's mainly about like your mindset, because that's where your actions and everything we do stems from. And so it was Kathy Heller who was, Keisha was interviewing her, and she's the author of Don't Keep Your Day Job, which that's an amazing title in itself. And so she also has her own podcast, and she was speaking on like some major truths, and I just absolutely recommend all of you listening to that podcast. And since we're nearing the end of the year, like this is the time when many of us will start to fall off or like, you know, let off the gas. But really, we need to end the year strong and to start off 2020 like with a bang. And like this is when we need to be going all in and shoot for those goals that we placed like back in January. Like think back, what were your goals? Are you close to any of them? Did you reach them? Maybe you surpassed them. Maybe you're like miles away from them. Like whatever it is, like what can you do over the next 90 days to really crush those goals? Like that's how we should treat our year end. We did not put in all the work all year long to get to the holiday season and just like, you know what, done, throwing it all away. Like, what? No, this is the time like we really need to push to hit those goals that we set back in January. And at any time, we can redesign our business and change where it's headed. And that's what the beauty of it. So this is going to be like a little pump up to like just get you focused on what you want and hopefully help you realize the mindset that you need to have in order to end the year with a bang and hit those massive goals that you set back in January. And then I'll leave you with like a few tangible items too. But Kathy was explaining her story, and she said something that really hit home. And she said, now, like success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure, because like, you know, you have all those boxes checked, but like you're still not happy. So it's kind of like, what the heck? Like, for example, you graduate college with your degree. It took you 4 years to get that. You start working at, you know, your dream job, and you're just like, this is not it. Like, but you have the job, you're making the money. Maybe you're in a thriving relationship, but like you're just not happy and everything looks great on paper, but this is not okay. Like use that as motivation to find like what brings you joy and purpose and passion. And over time, you're going to be guided towards like what you're meant to do. And like another example is like maybe you know, you're working a great job and you get a raise at work, but that job is not something that you want to be doing. It doesn't bring you purpose or anything. It's like you're sitting behind a desk from 9 to 5. And you have to deal with your boss, and you still have to do all those like different tasks that you don't like, and it doesn't even like bring you any purpose. Like that extra income isn't going to motivate you anymore, and like it's not going to make you like your job anymore. So use that as motivation to put more into coaching and put more into like what you actually enjoy doing. And what does it mean to be successful to you? And it's going to be different for everyone. And most of us are telling ourselves like, it's fine, we're fine, life is good, but we're not fine. And when we were young, like 6 or 9, there were those moments where we got our like hearts broken and there was like pain. And we said to ourselves, like, this is the most painful moment to me. Like, I won't want this anymore, because if I don't want it, I won't get hurt. So we tell ourselves that it's fine and that it's okay. And that, you know, you don't need to have that passion or to love your job. And then one day you're like, this is not fine. And you realize you do need to go after what you love. And what makes people happy is purpose. And we want to know that something that we are doing has meaning, like for someone else. So when we are feeling like what we are doing isn't translating or inspiring others, like we get sad and we tell ourselves it's fine. We live our lives based on like what we believe is true. And everything comes down to momentum. And your belief controls all of that. And your belief controls your momentum. So when you realize that, that's when the fun begins. Like if you believe you don't deserve it, or that it's not possible, or that you're not enough, you're not going to do what it takes. Like, you're not going to do anything about it. And an example that she used was like a lottery ticket. How many of us have bought a lottery ticket before? Probably all, like almost all of us. But how many of us have bought it every single week? Like, no one, because you're like, I'm actually not going to win. Like, you don't believe that you're going to win, so you don't do it. And it's kind of like taking an airplane. So how many of us have been on an airplane before? Probably every single one of us. It's because you don't actually believe that you're going to die when you get on a plane. So you still get on the plane. And it's kind of like coaching and like ladies joining us, because if you don't believe that you're going to be successful in coaching, you're not going to do what it takes, and you're not going to put in the hours of work that it takes to be successful, like in your book, because you don't actually believe that's going to happen. So it all starts with your mindset. And like ladies joining us in like our accountability groups or challenge groups, whatever you want to call it, like we all get objections, and those not right nows, but it's because they don't believe that it's going to work for them, or that they can complete the program or have success or do what we do. And it's our job to build them up and show them it is possible. Like, squish every objection, even your own, and show that it is possible, and wholeheartedly believe that. You are a powerful person. Like, you can literally do anything that you want. Like, when people say that they can't do something, I'm like, you actually can. You just are not doing it, but it's fine. Like, it's your mindset. Your mindset comes into play, and you start doubting yourself and second guessing, but you cannot allow that. Our mind is built to protect us. So it's looking for danger or anything that's going to hurt you. And if you're worrying or you're sad or anything, like, our brain is designed to look for problems. So all you're going to do, like, is give you a list to show you, like, where your mind is, like, built to show you these beliefs of, like, where there could be danger. And it's our job to get ahead of that and proactively insert and feed our minds with the things that we need to, like, believe, aka personal development. And that is why that's one of the vital behaviors, and it's why it's so crucial to implement that every single day. Like, I cannot stress that enough. And I was one of those people too that was like, nah, it's fine, I don't need it. Like, that's for people that need self-help. I don't even know what that means, but that was just my way of thinking, and I was being super ignorant to it. Like, but wow, once you implement, like, personal development every single day, your world truly opens up. Whether it's a book, an Audible, a podcast, whatever it is, just make sure you listen to that every single day. And when we feed our minds, like, personal development, we feel amazing, right? And like, okay, what am I going to do to make sure I feel this way every single day? Chances are, like, to do that is to get in your workout, because who doesn't feel amazing after, 20 minutes with Jericho after lit cardio, and you're like, how am I sweating so much? But it's fine, I'm going to do this again tomorrow because I feel so great. And it's kind of like that with personal development too, because we read it every day and it builds us up. Like, you need to be consistently doing the things that bring you that high energy so that you have that positive mindset and you can stay in that place. And sometimes the thing that causes us to take action is the pain gets so bad of staying where you are and staying stuck. Like, it's greater than the pain of possibly failing or being rejected, or that you aren't enough if you go ahead and try. And sometimes that's exactly what lights a fire under you. And to me, like, I've already failed if I stay in a job that doesn't light me up every day or bring me joy and passion. Like, that is harder to me than to just, like, friggin', who cares what someone on the internet thinks? Like, whatever, they don't have to follow you then. Who cares? You're going to find your people. Feelings are like visitors. Some are going to stay for 3 hours. Some are going to stay for 3 weeks, maybe 3 months, but they leave. So make space for that. Like, you can do hard things. You have already survived so much. Give yourself some credit here. Like, the 11-year-old version of you is probably looking at you like, damn, you have survived a ton. That's amazing. Like, I never thought I could do that, but there you are. There you are. Just marvel in that. And if you have the behind the scenes on, like, any successful person, that you consider, like, successful, because everyone has a different definition, you would see all the darts that they threw, and you'd circle the target around one of them to make it look like this heroic story. But really, it's a messy story of trying, like, a ton of different things that didn't work until something did. And that goes hand in hand with coaching. Like, if something isn't working, try something else. If you aren't seeing engagement in your groups, switch it up, change things around, do weekly posts instead of daily posts, or vice versa. Offer incentives, run them with other coaches, like, to create more engagement. But that's it. Like, that's what has to happen. If you want to crush like your goals and build a business, you need to just keep going. Don't measure success by what you hoped the outcome would be. Measure it as like, did I do it? And what did I learn? Because to me, like, that's where like I've learned the instant gratification comes from. Like, we all want this instant gratification, and we know building a business does not, there's no instant gratification. It takes time. It takes years maybe. The instant gratification is you doing that thing you never thought you could do. Like posting that picture you never like would have dreamed you would have posted, like that freaking scares you out of your mind, or doing that live IG story or IGTV. Who would ever, I would have never done a video years ago. Like, though that's instant gratification because you just went over, you got over all that fears and you just did it. Or, you know, sending 50 invites and you only received 5 responses. Like, dang girl, you just did it. Go you. The rejection is just redirection. And as you get rejected, these are just like answer keys, and it's leading you to try something else and to keep going, because that's how you obtain those goals. Like, you continue to keep going. All of those failures are leading you to what you should be doing. And we have this backwards way of thinking, like, what's practical? What will sell? Do we really want the job that you have, or sit behind the desk, or, you know, be a waitress, whatever it is? Like, no, it's fine, but I'll do it for just now. Why? Like, do what you were called to do. And yes, we're going to care what other people think because we were designed to all be connected. So of course we care, but do what you were called to do. And once we have like a sense of what we were, you know, put on this earth to do, there's a difference between a hobby and a business, but there's no reason that you can't make them, you know, intertwine. And it's kind of like, how do you do that? And this is like where I could not agree more with Kathy when she had like talked about this. Not obviously she wasn't like putting it into coaching perspective, but it does work hand in hand. So like, we know our programs work, and we know that we can help ladies, and that they can feel just as amazing as we do. But we need to really think about like who this is for. Like, who am I out there to help, and what is my audience? And that's going to be completely different for everyone. There's moms, there's students, there's wives, there's single ladies, workers, stay-at-home moms. Like, the audience is different for everyone. And that's what's so amazing about this. And like, we all have our own people, and we can reach so many different people and help more in the end. And we really need to dive in on who is ours, because instead of just like throwing things out there, like to every person and wondering why no one wants to join us, for one, no business is run that way. Everyone, like every business has a target audience, and they know who they're seeking to help. And when you know your target, like and you know that it can solve their problem, sales and like asking ladies to join you will never feel icky, because you know that you can help them. I've never, ever felt icky about asking ladies to join me, or like about the price. And that's because I talk to people who are just like me. And it's hard to even relate to that, because if you know who your audience is, like just think about who you are and how Beachbody and our programs have helped you, and you're targeting those people, you know that you can already help them. And it's like, oh, you're too busy to work out? Me too. Let me just tell you how your life is about to be changed. Like, I'm not driving anywhere. I'm not driving to the gym. Ew. I would pay someone to now just drive me anywhere. I hate driving. So I always just talk to people like I am just talking to, you know, my best friend. The reason people feel icky is because you think that you are convinced, like you have to convince someone that they need it. But that doesn't work. If you know your target audience and you know the type of ladies who you can like solve their problem with what we have, and you ask questions and you build that relationship, once you chat, like they're happy to give you the money. They're like, how do I sign up? How do I join you? Because you filled a need and you solved their problem, and you aren't convincing anyone, because you found the type of person who needs like what you have. And we need to figure out like who our tribe is and whose problem we can solve. And that's when you will start to find those ladies who need you, because you're speaking directly at them. And every time you create a post or a story, think about who you're talking to. It takes 6 to 9 months. We always hear this, to see the efforts pay off. And you need to wholeheartedly believe that, and like, no, it's going to come back around. So anytime I'm having like a hard month, I'm like, okay, what was I doing 6 months ago? Like, because clearly I need to change things up. And it's just a matter of time. Like, if you're going to be around to see the momentum and see the hard work pay off, and like, how sad to think that you put in all this hard work and then you're like you're almost to the end, and then you just quit. You're like, never got to see it coming, didn't get to see any. Like, you quit before you even see the product come alive. That's terrible. But so a couple action items. So set 3 goals that scare you, like the scare the poo out of you. Develop steps on how you're going to get there and schedule it in where you're going to fit that into your day. Because if you don't schedule it in, it's not going to happen. We can say it all, but like if you don't schedule it, we all know, like, we get busy and, you know, things come up and you're just like, nah, it's fine. I'll do it tomorrow. It's fine. Reverse engineer, like, how many reach outs do you need to do to get to 3-star, to get to 1-star, to get to diamond, whatever it is. How many conversations do you need to have to hit SC10 every month? Like, okay, how long is it going to take for you to do that many reach outs every single day? Are you going to get up earlier? Are you going to stay up later? Are you going to try and fit it in on like your lunch break? Are you going to do it in pockets of time? Like, figure out how you're going to fit like those tasks into your schedule, because if you don't do that, it's just not going to happen. Set goals that are like far from what you even believe right now. And if you get halfway there, you're still freaking really proud because you're like, damn, I just shot for 10-star. We got 5-star. Woo! Like, just as excited as if we got the 10-star. It's fine. Like, another thing, I don't really watch Instagram stories that much. I will allow myself to watch them after I hit like monthly goals or something like that. But when I do, I feel like I see a lot of the same things. And so truly think about, maybe do the color wheel or something like that, where you are pinpointing like certain, I guess, like things about yourself and figuring out your brand, because I feel like I see a lot of the same things. And so it's like, how are you going to stand out and be different from all those other coaches? Because you need to be you. And if you wouldn't have a dance party while drinking your sunshine, then don't, because people are going to know if you aren't genuine. And don't copy the same things, because yes, success leaves clues, but there also needs to be a bit of diversity. We all relate to different things. So if you're out there, you know, your people are not going to be the same people as someone else. Like, Amanda has a baby now. Amy's pregnant. I'm just over here not any of those. Like, me, I was even thinking today, I was at the grocery store and I was like, I would have no clue what to do with diapers. Like, I wouldn't even know the brand to start with. Just don't even ask me. Anytime I have to go to like a baby shower, I'm like hitting on my best friends. Like, so what am I supposed to get? What actually is a good thing to do? Because I couldn't tell you anything about any of that. So everyone reaches out to different people, and that's the beauty of it. Like, I love that my audience is completely different from all of that. Like, because we all can help such a broad audience, I would say. But another thing, offer incentives and create that urgency. So I always host my first boot camp the second Monday, so that it usually leaves about 2 weeks of inviting. And then it also, usually that's about the 15th, I would say, around the 15th mid-month. So then you're hitting your goals early on in the month. You can focus on other things. So I always try to offer it the second Monday. And I did this back in July for the first time ever. I started offering like Amazon gift cards for ladies joining. And I said, basically, if you join in the next 48 hours, I'm offering this sort of like deal where you'll, you know, get a $10 Amazon gift card, whatever it is. Like, create that urgency. And it went over really well, actually. I was surprised. So offer even like little things like Sunshine or Energize. I don't know. Whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called anymore because I say Sunshine so much. Or pumpkin spice Shako samples. People love that. It's just something super simple. It doesn't need to be anything extravagant, but people are just happy to join you because they want what you have and they want to be a part of that. And anything extra is just like the icing on top. But that's pretty much what I have for you tonight. If there's any questions, I am more than happy to answer. So if you have anything. Yes, the new year is right around the corner. It's kind of crazy. Yes, so many people quit right before it gets good. I know. You're like, just.
How would you, I'll start with the questions. So we obviously all set goals in our business, and with the end of the year approaching, it's easy to kind of like give up if we haven't hit those yet. But what would you say like your top tips are? Like, what are you doing right now to kind of like amp up to continue the push to end the year, whether you hit your goal or not, just to like get that momentum for the start of the new year?
I would say doing several boot camps a month just to like continue inviting throughout the whole entire month. And I will probably offer incentives this month, maybe not next month, but just trying to kind of like show, I don't know, everything. But just inviting every single day. And also, I don't know. That's a hard one. I'm doing 2 sneak peeks this month just to try and also make sure I'm talking about it, like coaching a lot more. Because if you're doing one like every other week, then you're going to keep talking about it. So that's another thing that I'm doing. So 2 sneak peeks, 2 groups, and then trying, I think that's, yeah, pretty much what I'm doing.
Amy?
I have one.
Yeah.
How do you overcome defeat when you set a goal and you don't reach it? What's your process to keep yourself motivated to keep pushing forward?
I just create new goals and know that even though, like, if you don't hit your goal, you're going to. Like, it's going to come with time. So I just shoot for higher and then continue on and keep doing what I'm doing, put in a little bit more effort. And I don't know, I still think it's exciting because it's like, I look back to, I guess that would be part of it, is like, I look back to, last year or 2 years ago, and I'm like, wow, who knew? Like, I can quit my job. Like, that's amazing. That's what's motivating about it, is knowing like where you started. And even though it takes years or, maybe months for some, just knowing how, like, where you came from and how the process over time really does all add up, and to think to where you are going to be next year. That's what like motivates me, is knowing that like next year, no matter what, even if we don't hit like whatever goal this year, I know next year we'll still be past that.
For sure. One thing I want to add to that too is just really knowing at the end of the day, or at the end of the year in this case, that like you did all that you could to push for your goals. Like, we all set lofty goals, which we should. Like Kelly was saying, our goals should scare us. They shouldn't be something we can attain like next week. But I know for me, like when I set really big goals, if I don't reach the goal on that exact deadline, I know that first off, the momentum that I had pushing for that goal is just going to continue to, roll forward, and I'll eventually hit that goal. But also just like really reflecting on the year and saying, did I do everything that I could have done to push to that goal? So I know for me, that's a big one. Just like really putting in that work and knowing at the end of the day that you did everything that you could to get there until the last possible moment. And that's why, you guys, it's so important to not stop pushing ever. Like, if you're pushing to hit a goal by November 27th or 22nd, you don't hit it, don't just stop. Like, that's what so many people do, I've learned in this business. So many of the ladies that helped our team push to elite this past year, we pushed so hard to get everybody to diamond that all of a sudden we got there, we held it, and everybody was like, whew, I'm going to stop pushing and just like take a breather. The second you take your foot off the gas and take that breather, you lose all your momentum. And it's really, it takes a lot to get that going again. And that's why so many ladies have really stepped back from coaching that really helped us push for that. So that's my big thing too, is like, just because the end of the year is right around the corner and maybe you aren't exactly where you want to be, that doesn't mean that you take your foot off the gas. Like, keep going, keep pushing, keep showing up, because it's just going to roll into the next year, and maybe you'll hit your goals early on next year. So that's my tip on that.
And also, when you take your foot off the gas, your momentum's slowing down, but your mindset also changes. So you're going to obviously start to get coach cancellations when you're not showing up in your business. You're not helping your girls push forward in their business. You're going to have coaches quit, and your mindset's going to be crappy. So because you're not like motivated to keep pushing forward, you're going to start second guessing if coaches even for you anymore. So it's just all of this mind battle when you let that foot off the gas pedal, it's just like this rolling effect in the opposite direction of all those goals that you've set for yourself from the day one that you started coaching. And it's like we all have big goals and dreams and we all deserve to reach them, but it's all up to you and the efforts that you put forth every single day, the unsexy efforts that no one notices but you know makes a difference. That'll add up over time. Like that's what matters when you're pushing towards a goal or, you know, continuing to push for your dreams. So definitely don't let off the gas. It's the worst thing you can do.
That's like when people hit diamond and they think like that's it. Like they stop and you're like, no. That's when it gets started. Like keep going. Lindsay said, how are you getting your new coaches started off strong to push for fourth quarter goals? I always offer incentives to new coaches. So I always tell them about, you know, the free, the summit ticket, about how if you're an SC starter, and helping 3 ladies every single month. And then I also offer, basically if they have like 1 SC point or anything, I'll offer a gift for that. And I also always try to tell them that Emerald is, you know, the first step of getting your business started, and I offer incentives for that. And I always make sure I do like a Emerald in 24-hour call with some of the other ladies on the team to, you know, help them understand what it is and how it can help their business. And then, of course, we just revamped the Coach Prep School. We're in the process of doing that, so I make sure they're, you know, being a part of that. But ultimately, it's up to them. And if they're not going through the course, then, you know, you need to just keep inviting.
So true. Stacy asked, what are ways you make sure that you keep the momentum going aside from PD? My big thing on that is like, keep up with the groups and the coach sneak peeks. Like, I would love to hear from all of you in the chat. Like, when is your next coach sneak peek? What date is it? Like, I would love to hear that in the chat right now, because if you guys are not running coach sneak peeks like weekly or bi-weekly, you're not going to recruit coaches. I mean, you might get discount coaches, you know, when you sign up challengers as discount coaches. But if you guys, you know, I know a lot of you guys are pushing for diamond and pushing for big goals. So that's just one big thing is like, run more coach sneak peeks than you usually do. If you usually run like once a month, run 2 or 3 to keep that momentum going. If you usually run 1 free group a month, maybe do 2, maybe do them bi-weekly. Just kind of like up what you're doing to really keep that push going. I didn't see anybody drop the date of their next coach sneak peek, so that's
Hey, I have 2 coming up, so 1 every week. But I was going to say that too, like, even if you have a team of like 2 coaches or, you know, of whatever, 1 coach, run a coach sneak peek with them. Like, show them what to do. Run one with your coach. Like, I always will do one either with my team and then also another one with like the Happy, Healthy, Humble Diamonds and just like kind of, because I want to be able to like show it from all different aspects. And I think that's amazing. So even if you have a team of 2 people or like 3, you should be running them with all of your coaches and just, yeah.
The other thing too is coaching sneak peek doesn't have to be a Facebook group. It can be so many different outlets of a way that you're telling your story. So I think a lot of coaches forget that going live on your Facebook like page and telling your story with the 3 main components. Who were you before Beachbody? Why did you decide to join Beachbody? And what has Beachbody done for your life since? And how can you pay that forward to others? Sharing your story where people can hear your voice and hear your passion and hear your heart and see your face. That's kind of a coaching sneak peek too. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times we don't go live because we didn't get ready that day, or we're self-conscious or afraid of messing up or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the other side of it is going live gets the most engagement. And then you can share that to your personal page and invite people to come follow your journeys on your life page. So there's just so many benefits to going live. And it's a great way to boost your engagement as well. So get creative with coaching sneak peeks and invites.
Something off of that too that I haven't really done in a long time, but like a day in the life of a coach. So a lot of you guys are part-time coaches, and that's awesome. And take people through your day. Like, what time do you get up in the morning? What do you do first thing? Like, talk about your personal development, talk about your power hour. What are you doing in your power hour? Talk about how your workout is a part of being a coach, like working on your health and fitness every day. That's like part of the job description. Hopping on calls like these. Like, I think if I go and look at like a lot of the coaches on my team, I see everybody posting their workouts every day, which is awesome. Like, doing little snippets of your workouts, that is awesome, just to show people that you're consistent and that you're showing up and that they can do these workouts too. But there's like a missing piece in a lot of people's stories, and it was in mine as well when I started, is I wasn't really talking about coaching. And it's just so interesting, because how do we expect to recruit coaches and like build this business if we're not talking about the coaching opportunity like all the time? So I just really encourage like my coaches and all of the coaches on this call to like really start talking more about coaching. Again, boot camps are great, and like that's a big part of what we do as coaches, but we also have this awesome opportunity to offer to people with building a business of their own while going through a boot camp, while getting healthy. So I just encourage you guys to really start amping up talking about coaching, and like Amy said, like what it's done for you. Why did you sign up to be a coach? What is it that you like about it? What type of like voids was it filling in your life? What, just little things like that. So I encourage you guys to really amp up talking about a day in the life of a coach, and just all of the different, ins and outs of what it is we do. So any other questions? Emily, it looks like we bored your pup to sleep. All right. Thank you, Kelly, for hosting this. This was awesome.
Great call.
Yeah. I'm
Thank you
glad
guys. Make it a great day.
See you ladies later.
Bye.